one in school, even though you have the body of a man or a woman, nobody can help you and me. What is important? The Qur'an says, يَا أَيُّهَا الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا آمِنُوا بِاللَّهِ وَرَسُولِهِ. You and I need to have a connection with Allah. Allah is not a tree, is not a mountain, is not an animal, is not a human being, is the divine sovereign behind this whole universe. You don't have to go to any place to meet Allah. God does not reside in Mecca or Medina or in Jerusalem. He doesn't reside there. You want to look for Allah, you look the whole universe and you will see Him. He is never absent from your life and my life. And wherever you and I are, we could never free ourselves from His presence. This is a divine power that made this world. And we are living by those laws. It will be sensible for us to wake up, smarten up, tidy up our act, stop fooling around, and take our responsibility very serious. Because whenever we fail, we are failing those people that came through us as children. Whenever we fail the people we socialize with, the people we laugh, we talk, we eat, we deal with. Life, the Qur'anic life does not support fraud. We need to be genuine. It is something that has to be cultivated. So the Qur'an wants you need to have a relationship with Allah. Not a cheap relationship. Do not go about the place and say, Allah, Ya Allah, Ya Allah. This is very, very cheap. Let your life and my life be a testimony that we have great regards and respect for sublime living, sublime thinking, sublime expressions, lofty dealings. That people, as they get into contact with us, they may not be able to see that I know the whole Qur'an, because that's not a condition. Nobody can know the whole Qur'an in one day. And therefore it is very foolish to read the whole Qur'an in one day. Nobody can know the whole Qur'an in 3 days. And therefore to read the whole Qur'an in 3 days is senseless. But this is the pursuit of the Muslims. They feel the more you read this Arabic, it's better for you. Divine guidance is a statement of life with divinity written all over it, that you and I have to take a page out of its book every day and strive to live by it. It's a lifetime pursuit. It's not something we can finish. We will finish and it will still remain. But if every day we keep postponing it, what's going to happen? We will be the losers. Our children will be the losers. We will be able to add nothing to our friends. We will be of no value to our relatives. And instead of being assets to the world that gave us so much, we will have failed. We would have failed to leave behind memories of usefulness and goodness. And that's our choice. But we can change all of that. We can change all of that by the process that's called tawbah. Now the process of tawbah is not to sit in a corner and to say astaghfirullah, astaghfirullah, astaghfirullah. This is not the process. The process of tawbah is to take a different path. Is to take a different way to produce results quite contrary to the previous results. It means to return to divine loftiness. Allow divine loftiness to come into our lives. It's not a matter of saying astaghfirullah 1 time, or 5 times, or 100 times, or 1,000 times, or 100 times. It means nothing. Try it out. See if words without efforts and action mean anything in life. Every day go to work late and tell the boss, boss, I have committed myself to be early. But every day you keep going late. Tell your friends, I promise you I will be very nice. I will be very good. But what you do, what we do the opposite. What you expect. It is what we present to the world, that's what we represent in reality. And the Qur'an wants us to have a dynamic relationship with Allah. Iman is not saying I believe. Amantu billah means I believe. No way. This is falsehood. This is falsehood. None of you and none of us are people with Iman until we are genuinely committed, very sincere, and are prepared to pursue the path of Iman with our health, our time, our energy, our wealth, and our talents. Don't make a mockery of Iman. There's too much of mockery of it in Muslim communities. If you and I are connected with Allah, we don't lose Allah. And when Jummah comes, we become alive. I told you, lots of people are crazy to come to a place and to pray. As if praying is a big thing in life. Talking to Allah can be the greatest thing. But there is nothing guaranteed to people who fool around with divine guidance. Nothing is guaranteed. You get no blessing, no thawab, no jaza, no nothing if you fool around with divine guidance. You get the opposite. Don't make our lives very cheap. Don't give others who don't know us the impression that, you know what, our Prophet was a very cheap man. The God that he dealt with is very cheap. So we can just bribe this God with nice words. Oh God, amantu billahi wa malaikati wa kutubi wa rusuli wa yawmil akhir. You know, I can say the whole thing. What does it mean in our life? That's what we have to wake up. Don't we see enough blood in the Muslim countries to make us wake up? Apparently we haven't learned the lesson yet. We are still so die-hard supporters of culture that we really haven't learned the lessons of what has taken place and is taking place in Muslim lands. Because if you and I are genuine, what does the Qur'an say? If you and I are genuine, I am not saying it. Hear what the Qur'an says. وَلَا تَهِنُوا وَلَا تَحْزَنُوا. Don't be weak. Don't be weak in your feet. Don't be weak in your life. Don't lose hope. وَلَا تَهِنُوا وَلَا تَحْزَنُوا وَأَنْتُمُ الْأَعْلَوْنَ إِن كُنْتُم مُؤْمِنِينَ. If you and I are people of Iman, we will prevail. Start with yourself. Let's start with ourselves. Let us show the quality of Iman that we have in our own life. Show it to our children. How many of our children can really stand up in life and say, thank God for the father and mother I have? That they have led me out of darkness. I grew up as a teenager, but my father and my mother was distinguished. I went to university, but my father and my mother was distinguished. I am now a man and a woman in my life, but my father and my mother was distinguished. If fathers and mothers don't have time to check their sincerity to Islam, what are we leaving behind? What have we done to our children? Do we worry? Or we think God favors the Muslim, He likes the Muslims. This is a pack of lies that was sold to Muslims to make them so cheap. That's why their daily life and their weekly life doesn't have any change on the reality of society. Because Allah promised you and promised me, and anybody, He says, وَلَا تَهِنُوا وَلَا تَحْزَنُوا. Don't grieve and don't be saddened. وَأَنْتُمُ الْأَعْلَوْنَ, because you will prevail. إِن كُنْتُم مُؤْمِنِينَ. Do you have that confidence in your life? Do you have that confidence in your life, oh brothers and sisters? Do we have that confidence in our lives? that we will leave behind sons and